The FBI examined the plane, interviewed witnesses, tracked suspects, and followed tips for years. By the first 5 years alone, the Bureau had considered more than 800 suspects, yet none could be definitively tied to the crime. One detail made the case even stranger. The name D.B. Cooper was not even the name the hijacker used on the ticket. According to both the FBI and Britannica, he called himself Dan Cooper. The now famous D.B. identity grew out of media confusion and stuck forever. Over time, suspects came and went. Richard Floyd McCoy became one of the most famous names linked to the case after committing a similar skyjacking months later, but investigators ultimately ruled him out for multiple reasons, including physical description mismatches. That is what made the case so frustrating. There were suspects, there were theories, there were clues, but there was never closure. Then, nearly a decade later, came the one discovery that reignited the mystery. In 1980, a young boy found a decaying bundle of cash buried along the Columbia River. The amount was $5,800, and the serial numbers matched the ransom money from the hijacking. It was the kind of clue investigators dream about, but instead of solving the mystery, it only deepened it. How did the money get there? Was Cooper alive long enough to hide it? Did it wash downstream? Was someone else involved? Searches continued, but nothing else definitive was found. Just a fragment of the ransom, a whisper from the past, enough to prove the case was real, but not enough to explain it.
On a cold afternoon in 1971, a quiet man boarded a plane in Portland, ordered a drink, and handed a flight attendant a note. Inside that note was a threat, a bomb claim, and a demand for money. A few hours later, he jumped out of the aircraft into the dark American wilderness with $200,000 in cash. He was never seen again. No confirmed body, no confession, no final answer. This is the mystery of D.B. Cooper, the man who may have pulled off the most legendary disappearance in American crime history. On November 24, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving, a man using the name Dan Cooper bought a one-way ticket for Northwest Orient Flight 305, traveling from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. He paid cash. He looked ordinary, mid-40s, business suit, black tie, white shirt. Nothing about him seemed unforgettable. He took his seat like any other passenger and even ordered a bourbon and soda while the plane waited for takeoff. But shortly after the flight was in the air, he handed a flight attendant a note. At first, she thought it was just another phone number from a stranger. It wasn't. The note said he had a bomb. When she sat beside him, he opened his briefcase just enough for her to see wires, red sticks, and what looked like a battery. Then he gave his demands: $200,000 in $20 bills and 4 parachutes. At that moment, a short domestic flight became one of the strangest crimes in American history. The plane landed in Seattle, and authorities gave Cooper exactly what he wanted. In exchange, he released the 36 passengers, but he kept several crew members on board and ordered the aircraft back into the sky. His destination? Mexico City. His instructions were oddly specific: fly low, fly slow, and keep the rear stairway accessible. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, a little after 8 p.m., Cooper made his move. He lowered the rear steps of the Boeing 727 and jumped into the night with the ransom money. The plane landed safely. Cooper was gone. And that single moment transformed a criminal into a legend. Because from that point on, the mystery wasn't just who he was. It became something far more haunting. Did he survive? Imagine the conditions of that jump. It was night. The weather was bad. The terrain below was dark, forested, and unforgiving. And Cooper was not dressed like a professional skydiver. He wore loafers, a business suit, and a trench coat, hardly the outfit for a leap into the wilderness. Later assessments suggested he may not have been an experienced parachutist after all. In fact, investigators noted that one of the parachutes he took was actually a training chute sewn shut, something an expert likely would have recognized. So what happened next? Did he land safely and disappear with the money? Did he die on impact in the mountains and forests below? Or did the legend of D.B. Cooper survive because the man himself never could? Those questions haunted the FBI for decades. The case became known as NORJAC, short for Northwest Hijacking, and investigators chased hundreds of leads across the country.
In the late 1960s and early 1970s, hijackings had become a serious global problem, and Cooper's case arrived right in the middle of that era. A Smithsonian-linked historical overview notes that hijackings were happening with alarming frequency during that period, and Cooper's case captured the American imagination unlike almost any other. But Cooper also left a legacy in aviation security. After the case, aircraft were modified with a device known as the Cooper vane, designed to prevent the rear stairway from being opened in flight on planes like the Boeing 727. In other words, one mysterious jump changed airline safety forever. So even if no one ever proves who Cooper was, his shadow still exists every time America thinks about air security, hijacking, and the thin line between criminal and legend.